So today I want to touch on how I'm going to be structuring my personal brand a little bit different, what that means, and the sauce I learned from it. So if you guys are subscribed to me, if you guys are watching my journey, up until now, you'll know, most about me, right? Running an AI agency, reading all of this stuff. But today I really delve deep into personal brand. Now, my understanding of a personal brand, and the reason I'm starting this is, and I'll actually read you this message. Inspiring people to become the best versions of themselves through knowledge and concepts while using it to create a source of online income. So that is my ethos. That is my main message. I've done this exercise a few times, but nothing to the point that I've done now. And within that, when I say at the end of every one of my videos, right, if you're watching this, chances are you're an entrepreneur. That's my ideal audience, right? And as I delve into this, I'm going to explain kind of what that's going to look like from now on. But that is my ethos. Around my ethos is going to change a little bit, I'm sure. But I want to inspire people to become the best version of themselves while using that to make a source of online income. Now, how I've been doing my personal brand and what I've learned about it so far is just I want to document the journey, right? I want to document the struggles, the things I learned, just keep my humanity as intact as possible. One thing, and I talk about this in some of my other videos, but one thing with AI, and as AI rapidly progresses, authenticity is going to become very important. Now it's going to be, it's pretty obvious reasons why it's going to become important, but based on just the AI, you look at Sora, you look at, Nano Banana 2 or whichever one they came out with. Some of this stuff now, you can't tell if it's AI or not. Me, and I work with AI. I create AI ads. I work with, some of the most up-to-date AI video, AI image generator, AI, whatever media it is out there. And I myself am starting to fall for some of these AI videos. Whenever I see something that is like, wow, I can't believe that just happened, or I see a video, I'm like, wow, that's a crazy video. I really have to second guess and say, like, is this AI? I know I saw a video today. It was a truck driver, window shield was fogged up, and he just hit the back of a bus, right? Going like, let's say, 60. It looked very real to me, but I still had to okay, is this real? Is this real? Is this not AI? We've gotten to the point now where we're screwed. Like us, the pioneers of AI. I can't call myself a pioneer of AI, but I'm growing up with this. I work head on with this. And even I'm having difficult telling what's real or not. Because of that, authenticity, you yourself, me, speaking to you, I have to be as authentic and genuine as possible. Now, my whole journey up to here has been just documenting that. Just documenting the journey, the ups and downs, whatever that is. And just being as authentic, as genuine, as humble as possible, right? Even, the marketers on Facebook, Wyatt Roderick, Carson Reed, very good example of that. Made a video on my honest review, of their course that I was in. They are not genuine people, right? Like they lie about their numbers. They lie about how profitable this business model is, right? They, after the course, they just let you out to dry, right? They don't charge fixed, whatever. I'm not going to complain about them, right? At the end of the day, I hate complaining. But it does benefit you guys, and it does play a part into what I'm saying here. But basically, authenticity is going to be very big, and that's what I've understood up until now. Now, some of the other things that I know that I'm lacking out on is I'm not sharing my knowledge of what I've been learning enough. I've been so busy on documenting the journey, on, work days, I don't have time to sit down and record these videos. I do it on my way home from work. Really, I can't show you the full process on how I run ads, how I set up my accounts, how I, reduce client churn, all of this. I can't really show you that, which is, it sucks. And that is my, my number one goal right now is to be able to quit my job, right? I'll get all that time back. I'll be able to work 1,010% on this and the business. But, I can't really delve into that. But when I'm at home, even the video I'm making right now, I'm just saying basically just more concepts. Like I made a video the other day on how I run ads. I didn't really show the full system. I just kind of explained how I run it, what I do to create it. And I mean, if you wanted to replicate that, you could replicate that, but it's nothing like in depth, right? It's not like I'm showing you my meta systems. I'm going through my go high levels, nothing like that. And that I'm missing out on because I know, and my mentor talks about this a lot because he sees the personal brand I'm building, saying like, Liam, can't have imposter syndrome. Chances are you probably know what I'm talking about when I say imposter syndrome, but I don't know how qualified I am because at this point, revenue I've made under $10,000, but really what does that, what does revenue mean? It means nothing. Profit invested, tens of thousands into this. Only gotten, like 2,000 back, 1,600 back. It's on my whiteboard. Changed my room around. My earlier videos have my whiteboard. I might move it actually to this wall so you guys can see it. It's my Pirates of the Caribbean map I got when I was like, 7 or 8. It's never moved from there. But anyways, going back to that, I know I have knowledge that I need to share more of. And this goes back to how I'm going to change it. So my ethos is, just like I said before, right? Inspiring people to become the best versions of themselves through knowledge and concepts while using it to create a source of income online. So what does that mean? My videos that I want to make are inspiring you yourself, and you yourself are the entrepreneur, right? There's demographic and psychographic, and I'll go through that, but you yourself as an entrepreneur, right? The concepts and ideas that I learn, I want to give to you, and I don't want you to just take that and do whatever with it. I want you to take that and make a source of income online. People, there's different stuff they preach, different stuff in the personal brand. I want you to make something online with this, right? These concepts I'm going to teach, they can help you have success. And I believe success is best translated into online business in that realm, right? Obviously, really vague, really loose translation there. But if I teach you how to market well, if I teach you sales psychology, if I teach you, take your headline, you got to speak with the prospect's language. This is how you run ads, all of this. If you know how to run ads and you don't use it, to build some sort of business, to build some sort of entity online, you're doing it wrong. And I think everyone's end goal should be some sort of online business. It's an amazing opportunity we have right now, like amazing. Nothing like this in history, and specifically with ChatGPT, all of the AIs, a lot of it is done for yourself if you put it together correctly. And that is what I want to teach. And I haven't been teaching. So, there's 3 concepts that I want to teach. Number 1 is discipline and identity. For myself, and a big thing that kind of encapsulates this, I'm an entrepreneur. I try to be the best version of myself possible, right? That ethos, that's what I want to give to you. But even for me, myself, how I live my life, I need to become the best version of myself possible. Destined for more, right? Want to make the most out of this life that I can. So number 1, discipline and identity, right? You can't be, and going back to this is the example. Who do you think is going to win in a race? Lewis Hamilton in a Fiat 500 or a 90-year-old grandma in an F1 Ferrari? Lewis Hamilton is probably going to win, even though that granny had that F1 Ferrari, that crazy vehicle, because she herself wasn't a good driver. I can't say she wasn't a good driver, but less than Lewis Hamilton, she's probably going to lose, even though Lewis Hamilton has the crappier vehicle. And that goes back to the founder. You, the founder, you have access to these vehicles. ChatGPT, like amazing, most amazing tool we've had in history, right at our fingertips and basically for free. You have the vehicle, but you need to become the founder. You need to become the driver. And that's a big thing that I like, right? I dedicate my life to every single part of my day, right? I'm optimizing. I even optimize more today. My YouTube, I downloaded TubeBuddy. So the only videos that get recommended are the ones on my subscribe because YouTube algorithm, very, very evil thing, right? There's full-time people working on just keeping you sucked into these social media machines. So that's number 1 is discipline and identity. Number 2 is AI agency and online business. And this is a part where I have knowledge in and I know I could be sharing. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, or just today, sorry, one of my connections from Wyatt and Carson's course. The only good thing about their course, by the way, is the connections that they made. It's connections that I made, sorry. And he was saying like, hey dude, you got to walk through ad fulfillment with me. Recently, I've gotten a lot of help and a lot of really good sauce on fulfillment. He's like, dude, you got to make a video on that. Like, that would be really helpful. And I kind of stopped there. Not my fans, but my audience, right? The people who watch me, they're telling me to make these kinds of videos. And at that point, you should really listen, right? The people that are sticking with you, the people that are interested in what you have to say, your story, they're telling you to create things. You should probably create that thing. So that falls into the AI agency and the online business part of this, because at the end of the day, I know I have that knowledge, and I'm not really teaching it to the highest of my extent. I'm just documenting the journey, right? And I want to give value as much as I want to, document that journey. So that's number 2. And then number 3 is success, truths, and concepts. Now, it's kind of a loose, what's the word, like concept name of it. But stuff like psychology, right? Like I study so much psychology. David Buss, Evolution of Psychology, right? 500-page textbooks. I read that. I read textbooks of psychology, right? Marketing, Never Split the Difference. Very good book. Very good book on, say, not necessarily sales psychology, but like business psychology, right? This guy was an FBI negotiator, but he took those and you can, put them into business. What else? How to Win Friends, Influence People, right? The best book I've ever read. Nothing will ever come close to this, right? This book changed my life. This book has changed my life. This is the only book I reread, by the way. I plan to reread in the future, and I do whenever there's a passage that comes to me. But this is the only book that I know almost, not everything by heart, which I should. But I can make a whole video on this book. This book changed my life. I would pay thousands of dollars for this book, and you can get it for $20 on Amazon. There's that. What else is there? Alex Hormozi, tons of marketing psychology, expertsecrets.com secrets. I study this, and I try to know what works. 'Cause at the end of the day, we're in an influence or attention society. There's a war for our attention, social media, ads, everything like that. We see 2,000 to 4,000 ads per day. You saw, 2,000 to 4,000 ads per day. Can you believe that? It seems way high, but once you put it down, you see 2,000 to 4,000. That's what my mentor said. I just listened to one of his podcasts. But just think of that, right? To be able to tap into that, tap into how we work, how we think, what makes what work, cognitive biases. If you guys aren't familiar with cognitive biases, I recommend you learn it, right? Spend an hour learning them. There's 25 main ones, right? Scarcity, urgency, social proof, punishment, influence, Lollapalooza effect. That's the one I just learned today. Basically what that is, it's tons of cognitive biases at once that you just can't say no. Like an auction, for example, you go in there, I think it was Charlie Munger who said this, but from an auction, you lose from the start. The item is placed on a pedestal above you, right? That's authority. You're sitting in a crowd, going once, going twice. That's scarcity and urgency. Everyone's looking forward. You gotta look forward, right? There's tons of stuff stacked against you. That's the Lollapalooza effect. But just psychology is one, right? Best routines, best way to make decisions, what to prioritize. This is huge. This is what I've spent thousands of dollars on. Because I can work for 12 hours, but at the end of the day, I might not get that much done. And I might work for 12. But because I'm not putting it towards the right things, because I'm not having the right systems, because I'm getting distracted here and there doing task switching, micro tasks, I lose a lot of efficiency. And so, that's another thing. Even my mentor, that's the main reason we bought it. I got that mentorship, $7,500 mentorship. I need to know what to prioritize, what to leverage, stuff like that. So that's another thing. And then non-marketed truths about success. So this is a big thing that does not get taught. The only person I see really doing it is Andrew Tate. And that is his brand, right? It's like that no fluff, no lie. World's gonna hit you in the face. You gotta be ready for it kind of thing. But, the stuff that you might not want to hear. And if you can't hear that, then you're not the person I want to target. And I'll go through my psychographic here soon. But, the stuff that you might not want to hear. You can't make 100K a month in 6 months with no experience. When I bought Wyatt and Carson's course, that's what the guy said to me. He's like, dude, you're going to be making 100K a month in 6 months. And I believed it. Now, I was a way different person than I am 6 months ago to now. Or it was like 9 months ago now, 10 months ago. But there's no way. Like, remotely, the smallest chance you might be able to is if you are extremely good at sales. Other than that, you're not doing it. There's no way you're doing it. So that is another thing, right? Stuff I've learned and stuff that came to me. You know, my mentor, Ty Lopez, he talks about that really good. And I really love that. And that's something I don't hear very often, but it's true, right? Just like your business, treat it like a baby, right? Like first couple of years, you're going to be doing it, it's going to suck. But after that, or once your business is 5, 10, 15 years old, right? Might start to take care of you kind of thing. So that's just another one. But those are the 3 main things that I'm going to be focusing on that is going to be different than the content that I make now. My target avatar. So it comes down to demographic and psychographic. So demographic, 16, 24-year-old male, but not specifically male. And why? Because these people, I believe I connect with the most, right? I'm 19. I'm right in the middle of that, kind of. Once I turn 20, I guess. I don't want to turn 20, by the way, if I don't make it by 19. If I don't make it when I still have a 1 in my name, I'm cooked. I'm washed. I'm kind of joking, but 16, 24-year-old male. You know, another thing, because I did a lot of research on personal brands today. If you don't really know your target audience, just target the person you were 3 years ago, right? The person who you could mentor from 3 years ago. Focus on that person. But anyways, 16, 24-year-old male. Another one is small town or just not big city. Now, this is a unique part of me, and I'll go into my uniqueness, some of the stuff behind that. But I live in the middle of nowhere, right? Like northern Canada. I live more north than 99% of Canadians. I'm actually going to screenshot that, the ChatGPT thing I did. Because there's no, my town north, what percent of Canadian population is more north than me. But I can figure it out, to a pretty good extent with ChatGPT. I'll have to screenshot that. But that's something specific towards me that I believe I can connect well with. The issues that I face, not necessarily issues, the challenges I should say that I face, is way different than someone living in Miami, right? Like I connect way better with those people, small town, not big city and stuff like that. So I'm going to be gearing my content a little bit more towards that, right? Those are the people I can connect with the most. Not saying that if you live in, Toronto, if you live in New York, that you can't, but, going to be gearing it a little bit more towards that. And then number 3 is that can be, but not exclusively, working a 9 to 5, going to school, doing something that they don't like. And then that ties into the psychographic, which I'll go over. Like there was a guy I was talking to in my community yesterday. Fritz, if you're watching this, what's up, buddy? But, he's from DC and he's going to become a doctor. And we connected awesomely. Like it's not specifically that, but even that, going back to the 9 to 5, the school thing, that was exactly what, like, he was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to school, but, I don't know if this is really what I want to do. Like, I don't know. I want to make some money on the side and not worry about, huge amounts of student debt that, he took out for that. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but that's another thing, right? And then that's my demographic. Now, my psychographic is, there's quite a few things that I wrote down here, like, quite a few things, but I want to be as specific as possible. Or just write down as much as possible. So number 1, and this comes back to just targeting me 3 years ago, like feels like the black sheep. Now, when I say feel like the black sheep, I mean in a way where you're outperforming everyone around you. Like, for me, small town, there's nobody that is as ambitious as me, right? Now, I can't say that. There are a few people. Another one of my boys, he does day trading. If you're watching this, I told him, I'm like, hey, dude, like I mentioned you in some of my videos. You know who you are. He's as ambitious. But other than that, like I truly don't know anyone from where I'm from who is as ambitious as me. So when I say feel like the black sheep, I mean in a way where you're so different in a way for ambition for something greater They just feel like you don't belong. That's that outperformer, right? Goes with that. Just a high level person, right? A high achiever. Number 3, hates being average and hates the idea of a 9 to 5. That goes back into entrepreneur, right? Like, I feel sick to my stomach just knowing that I led a life of mediocrity and I didn't do everything in my power to create something of true value. Feels like an outcast, goes with the black sheep. And then again, that's just a success weight, right? Like, you outperform so much that there's nobody your level and you're just an outcast because of it. Knows there's opportunity online, wants to make money online. For me, myself, when I was a kid, I'm like, dude, people are making 100K months doing something stupid that, a lot of people don't know. And, there's opportunity there. People who know there's opportunity there, not just sitting there thinking that this is a scam. Right? I hear that so many times, especially from my family. But that's that. Wants to work for themselves, right? Smarter than most, just high level people. Overachiever, addicted, like addictive. When I say that, like me, myself, when I get to something, I stay addicted to it. Like my badminton, for example, at my peak, I was training six days a week, right? And my issue was that I didn't have people to play with, but that also comes down to a small town. But I would play for, 4 or 5 hours a day, easily. So addicted to it. And even this, so addicted to it, right? I'm spending all of my time right now, right? Setting up stuff for my clients, all of that on Discord. My boy just DM'd me as I said that. But that's that. Persistent, fear of mediocrity. Looking to start. Now, this is kind of where I'm going to find it a little bit more, but basically the main idea is people with real high-level mindsets to becoming an entrepreneur. If you're watching this, there's a very high chance that you are, right? Like, you are destined for more. You have that mindset of a high achieving entrepreneur. And you are the people that I want to talk to. You are the people that I want to inspire. You are the people that I want to get my message across. Any value that I do have, I want you to do it. I don't want to give this value to someone who wants to work as a Walmart cashier all their life. I just don't, right? Like, you don't have the same ambition as me. And that is who I want to target, right? Now, this could be in different stages. Like, you could be just starting your business. You could be looking to start your business. But as long as you have that entrepreneur mindset, that high-level mindset, that is who I want to target. Now, my uniqueness, and there's a lot of things to go through here, and it's already a 23-minute video, so I'm not going to go through all of it. But basically, some unique points about me from a small town, right? Like, not everyone is from a small town. Not everyone is from a small town in northern Canada, right? It gets dark at 4:30, gets light at 9, minus 30 degrees. If you don't plug in your car, it's not going to start. Right? If you go outside without clothes on, you're going to freeze to death in a matter of, like, not even an hour, right? Like tonight, if I went out there, I'm wearing shorts right now and a t-shirt. If I went out there, stood out there for, let's say, 10 minutes, I would probably get really bad frostbite, right? If I sat out there for 30, 45 minutes, there's a decent chance that I would probably freeze to death, right? Like, this stuff is not for the meek-hearted. And another thing that spins off of that, just a small town mentality, right? Like, I've talked about this a lot before, but being in a small town, the mentality that I face, right? I'm always swimming against the current. Everything that I'm doing does not agree with people, right? Like, I'm in the trades. I don't want to be in the trades, but the most support that I feel like I get for what I do is when I'm in the trades, right? Is when people are like, oh yeah, you're doing this. How much money you got saved up? Oh, you're making, X dollars an hour. Oh yeah, it's nice. How is it? And people get silently jealous too. But that's besides the point in this video. But the small town mentality doesn't mesh with the globalistic, influential success that I'm trying to chase. So that's that. I also got to speak simpler. I got to speak at a 5th grade reading level. I really got to fix that. Another thing, now this isn't really unique to me, but, my friends and family just clowning me for this, right? Making fun of me, not supporting me. all of that. That's something that I face, right? It's a pain that I face. Bad schooling, and this was actually something I was doing a decent amount of research on today. So my school in Alberta, there's like 300 high schools in Alberta. There's like 292 or something. They do this report every year. Now, my grade 10 year wasn't on there because it was just coming out of COVID, but they do a report every single year. They rank all 300 high schools in Alberta on the highest quality. And I searched up my high school. My grade 11 year, it ranked 8th worst. So out of 292, I think it was like 284. So out of 300 high schools, we were the 284th high school. Sorry, 300. Well, 292. And then my grade 12 year, we were, I think it was 279th. Now, we were 279th out of 300. And we were that high because we had this girl come. I graduated with her. She got 100 in all of her classes. And she took the highest classes possible. Now, I did the math on how it was weighted and everything like that. Amount of people that took the exams, all of this. If we didn't have her, we would have dropped to the 4th worst high school in Alberta. Or like 5th. It's like 6th. I think it was like 6th or 5th. So think of that. With 300 high schools, we would have been the 294th worst school in Alberta. Now, that's a unique point for me, right? And I can tell you, like, my schooling, we had a few good teachers, and I always made the most of it. I was always in the smart classes. I'm not saying that to brag or anything, but I was in the highest education that we had to offer. And, I'm not complaining about any of my teachers, but, definitely there was a gap there, right? Like, what people get in Calgary and Edmonton and, Toronto, Winnipeg, Vancouver, Victoria, I didn't get that. And so that's something I'm also battling. And it's not really an issue towards me, but it just puts it into perspective, the opportunities I had, right? The environment that I had at my disposal to foster in. So that's that. And, really just everything kind of associated within that. Just really that small town, right? That is what makes me so unique. That's what I'm really going to preface moving forward. But really, this is a super long video. I didn't mean for it to be this long. But that's how I'm going to be changing my personal brand, right? I'm going to be targeting these kinds of people. I'm going to be talking about those 3 things I talked about, right? Discipline, identity, AI agency, and success, truths, and concepts. Going to be talking, just giving more value on what I do. And, talking to a little bit of a different person. But yeah, otherwise, that's that. I just want to go over that. I'm going to have to start making content plans and actually what I'm going to be doing. I do have one, but it's like really loose. Like I'll just write down ideas and just kind of structure it really loosely. But that's really it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Nothing's going to be changing. Like at the end of the day, authenticity is most important. I'm still going to be as authentic as I possibly can, right? Like nothing should ever come out inauthentic. But from that's just how it's going to be changed a little bit. So if you guys watch every one of my videos, I don't think anyone does, especially if you're watching this 30-minute video of me just talking. I know this is boring. I don't have money for an editor, nor I don't even know if I want these videos to be edited because these are raw, right? Like these are the authentic, just the raw stuff. None of the marketed stuff. That's another thing. I don't want to have these marketed truths. Like my mentor said, with the books nowadays, the books that are bestsellers, they're marketed well, right? It's not like they have the best value. And I've seen this firsthand. I don't have my stack of books behind me. Actually, it's something I should probably add. It's a good background thing. But my stack of books, right? There's a couple that I've bought that is like, wow, like that's a 2 out of 10 book. But it's marketed so well. It's sponsored on Amazon. You buy it. Atomic Habits, super good book. I would never say that's badly marketed. Super good book. I do believe you can get that same information from some of the classics, but very well put together, right? I mean, it was one of the first books I read on that, but truly, me stopping my bad habits, that book's all responsible for it. Psychology of Money, I also think, people clown that book, but I think that book has been responsible for making me a lot of money as well, right? Like probably thousands of dollars. Main thing there, right? Can't predict the emotions of the market. Huge, right? Especially for me, like trying to time the dip. Can't always time the dip, right? Got to be smart with how you do it. And I've made probably thousands of dollars off of that because of that. Not waiting for the right time. But just non-marketed truths. And that's why that's where I see myself setting everything apart. But that's that. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys did watch this far, thank you. Make sure to subscribe, follow for the journey. Constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to be better in everything I do, give as much value, everything as I can. But make sure to follow me on Instagram for more daily updates on my AI agency, my Discord, free AI agency Discord. On call with it right now. When my boys is here, I'm gonna unmute or undeafen, talk to him. But yeah, completely for free, tens of thousands of dollars invested, completely for free. Make sure to join that. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Above all, stay wise.